Hi, this is Michael. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a collective oracle card reading for the energy of the upcoming new moon phase. The new moon takes place on February 4th or 5th, depending on where you live. But for the purposes of my readings, this will cover the energy of the collective for February 3rd through February 8th. This new moon is in Aquarius, marking the beginning of the Lunar New Year, which is also known as the Chinese New Year. For anyone interested, this will be the year of the pig, according to the Chinese zodiac. A new moon in Aquarius is a time for focusing on your hopes and dreams, a time for connecting with others, being charitable, being inventive, being true to yourself, and a time for releasing and letting go of attachment. The new moon signifies the end of one cycle and the birth of a new, so this is the best time for you to manifest. Use this time to formulate new intentions and reevaluate your existing ones. Intentions can be summarized as guiding principles to live by, so they should define how you want to feel, the things you wish to experience, and the personal qualities and strengths that you want to develop. They should also be written in present tense, as if you already have it, and the wording should be positive in nature. So, for example, instead of saying something like, "I want to stop feeling like crap," you should write something like, "I am happy and healthy." The first is a goal, but the second is the intention, or the why behind the goal. The new moon is a lower energy phase, so be sure to get plenty of rest, get out into nature, and try to set aside some time daily for meditation. When the moon is in Aquarius, it's also a good time to focus on stress-reducing practices like deep breathing, mindfulness, meditation, and also exercises like yoga, stretching, and walking. This new moon is also a micro new moon, which happens when a new moon coincides with apogee. That's when the moon's orbit is the furthest away from the Earth. A micromoon is basically the opposite of a supermoon, and it appears about 14% smaller. The effects of the moon are more subtle during this time, and you should feel more clear-headed, your reactions could be less emotional. So with that being said, let's get started with the reading and see what our cards have to tell us. Now, as you can see, I've gone ahead and laid out two cards here. These are from the Robin Wood Tarot. I've laid out the Moon card and the Star card, which symbolizes Aquarius. And for the reading today, we're going to be using the Wisdom of the Oracle deck from Colette Baron Reed. And it's another really beautiful deck. Got it recently. Let's get a good shot here. And like I said, this is going to be a new moon oracle reading for the energy of the collective for February 3rd through February 8th. So let's get started. So the first card we're looking for is, what is the current energy of the collective for this new moon phase? Current energy of the collective for this new moon phase. Beautiful. And for the first card here, we've got blessed. It's beautiful. Okay, so we're all feeling blessed at this time. Feeling very happy, very fortunate. As you can see, she's floating up here with the stars, high above the water and the birds that are floating here. It's a very freeing feeling. There may be some of you that feel like right now everything's going according to plan, everything's going in your favor. In relationships, you may be moving towards a deeper intimacy. So it looks like some of you are feeling blessed at this time and very fortunate. Okay, and for this next card, we're looking for, what lingering issues or energies is the collective still attached to? What lingering issues or energies is the collective still attached to? And we've got chaos and conflict. But this actually came out in reverse. So it does have a slightly different meaning. Usually in the upright, this card leans towards disarray or tension with other people. But in the reverse, but with this card in the reverse, I would lean towards it meaning something along the lines of holding on to maybe resentment or anxieties about chaos or conflict that we've had. And it means that right now is a perfect time to release those, basically, to move on from that chaos and conflict. And it doesn't necessarily have to be relationships. It could be situations in the workplace, things in the family household. And the next card fits into that. It's how can the collective effectively release these attachments? I had something pop out there. Never-ending story. And with this, it could be that some of the collective is stuck in the same cycle of thought regarding the relationships and the chaos and conflict that we're holding on to. This card's also about unnecessary dramas, so just know that in order to effectively release these attachments, that they are really just unnecessary dramas, so you can stop holding on to those and release those. Things that you're holding on to regarding the chaos and conflict could be internal, could be with yourself. And it doesn't necessarily have to be relationships. It could be workplace, things in the family household. Okay, for this next card, it's how can we nurture ourselves as a collective? So how can we nurture ourselves as a collective? And we've got the Fates. This card is like fate, obviously, or karma. Basically accepting the way things are and that you can't always change everything. And also knowing what those things are that you can't change. It's like that serenity prayer that goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So that's a good quality to honor and nurture. Okay, for this next card, it's how can we as a collective more effectively connect with others? How can we as a collective more effectively connect with others? We've got deep knowing. Flip that around here. Deep knowing. It's cool, we got a moon here. But the card was in the reverse, so it does have a slightly different meaning. In the upright, this card talks about intuition, empathy, listening to your inner self, your inner guidance. But in the reverse, it could mean that you're in empathy overload and you need to get grounded again. So maybe some of us need to take a break from social interaction and maybe spend time on yourself, self-care, self-love. Focus on yourself first before you can open up to others. Okay, so the next card is how can we as a collective best bring our intentions and goals into fruition? So how can we as a collective best bring our intentions and goals into fruition? Okay. Got another in reverse. We've got by the book. Too close there. So by the book, but it was in the reverse. That's perfect for this. Usually in the upright, it's about abiding by social rules or conformity. But with it being in the reverse, it's more about rebelling against the conformity or the rules. Maybe stepping outside of the normal train of thought for yourself. It's also perfect with the moon being in Aquarius. Aquarians are known for being rebellious and for not wanting to abide by the rules or not being tied down. Maybe hate being told what to do. I'm an Aquarius, so I can speak to that. So how can we as a collective best bring our intentions and goals into fruition? I'd say focus on what you want, regardless if it fits the norm or fits inside the traditional box of society. Big changes are never easy and rarely comfortable, especially when it's against the norm of the mainstream. So some of us really need to take a stand, stand up for what we believe in order to bring our intentions and goals into fruition. And for this final card, what positive energy will emerge for the collective during this new moon phase? So what positive energy will emerge for the collective? We've got orphaned, and again in the reverse. So then again, with it being in reverse, the meaning is going to be slightly different for the traditional meaning. In the upright, it's about recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about how you fit in or your place in life or your place in society. But in the reverse, it's really about abandoning those thoughts, claiming yourself as whole, basically. Maybe some of you or some of us have been feeling abandoned recently. But it's really about addressing those unhealthy alliances and making decisions to heal the past. So many of us may be feeling very blessed and fortunate at this time, even though we're holding on to feelings of anxiety or sadness from chaos and conflict in our life. Whether it be relationships or jobs, and stuck in this cycle of self-depreciating thought. And sometimes the pain that we're holding on to, we may not realize that it's part of our life, part of our path. So it's part of our fate or destiny, something that we might be meant to experience for our progression in this life. So maybe take some time for yourself, for inner reflection, meditation, and focus on our goals and intentions. And then if anything stands in our way or conflicts with our goals and intentions, that we stand up to that and speak our mind, be strong about that. And as we move through this new moon in Aquarius, focusing on our intentions and focusing on connecting with others more. It may be time to address any unhealthy things you're holding on to. And once we recognize these unhealthy patterns of thought, we can consciously choose to interrupt them, to change the thought. And that will help us connect with others in a more healthy way, allowing you to be more connected to love, connected to life, connected to others. So that's our reading for this new moon. I hope you enjoyed it.